So I'm in the polytunnel and I'm gonna have a go at planting some sweet potatoes today. The chickens have been out of here for about 2 weeks. The duck's been out of here for about a week, although there is still one duck in here. If you can see her there, I'm not sure if you can see her. We got farmer operated head cam today, so I'm not sure if you saw that duck, but she is sat there on some eggs, and so she is still in here. About 6-7 weeks ago, I put my sweet potatoes in some compost, and it was moist compost, and I put the lid on and I left it in an east facing window in the farmhouse, and I had a couple of quick looks after a few weeks and I saw they were coming up, but then really I haven't touched it, and probably a mistake, but here we go. So, right, I don't know what to say about that. Looks okay. Could be a lot worse. Could be a lot worse. So there's quite a few potatoes in here. Obviously these have come up and rotted off by the looks of it. I haven't given it any water at all since it was very moist compost when I put them in. There's still some coming up. Look, these are fresh ones coming up, and these are up. Well, these are quite long. Look at that. That's quite long. So anyway, I've got 3 different varieties in here. I'm not going to be exactly sure what they are until I pull them up, I suppose. But anyway, that's what I'm going to... Well, let's do that now. So that one there is not looking very good, is it? This one looks alright. This has got red stems. So let's pull them up. There's quite a few sweet potatoes in here, but they're mostly not very big ones. Obviously this is sweet potatoes that I grew from last year. So yeah, so there's red stems. They're pretty obvious. Red stems is from the red potato. So yeah, I should get quite a few slips from that. They've got some roots on them. Not massive roots, but that is pretty much, I'd say, because I bought some last year, slips, and that, maybe they had a bit more roots on them than that, but it was like a 20th, there's more coming here, look, still. It was it could be a bit wetter, I think, it's dry. It's 20 something, 20th of May when I got them, and it's the 5th of May now. So anyway, just an idea, that's what I'm going to plant in a minute. I'll probably put some more compost on top of that. I've got these pipes in the top to monitor the water situation. Let me see if I can find another. Well, this one's got quite a lot on it. There's loads of roots in here. Oh my goodness, look at this. That is some... Yeah, it's quite dry, isn't it? Okay. Well, something's got a lot of roots. That one I had just now didn't have a lot of roots, did it? But the roots seem to be actually coming out of the potato. Or are they coming out of the slips? No, they're coming... No, there's both. There's both. There's some roots coming out of the potatoes and there's some roots coming out of the slips. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Oh, the sun's come out now. It's really warm in here. It's only about 15 degrees outside. There we go. Look at that. On the compost now, it's 28 degrees. That's when the sun did come out. The sun is out now. Right. Well, that's interesting. So that's an orange one, and they're pretty nice slips. They look almost exactly the same as the ones that I bought. They're quite expensive when you buy them. I think I paid £5 for, or maybe it was more than that. £5 for 5, was it? Or I can't remember how much I paid, but I had 5 of 3 different colours, and there's the 3 colours. So anyway, that's more than what I bought last year already. Way more. That's pretty much what they look like when I bought them. So they're ready to plant, and it's warm enough, and I had good success in the buckets, so we got 5 buckets. I'm going to get them topped up, and then I'll come back to you in a minute. This is how I'm planting them, if you're interested. I'm putting a bit of bale wrap over the top. This is what I did last year. That's why I'm putting it down. Initially I put down the miscanthus wrap. The reason I put that down last year was to stop the moisture from evaporating. And then I thought, well, I'll warm it up, I'll put some black plastic over the top. But I don't know if the mulch is necessary, but I did it last year, so I'm going to leave one without. But I had really good results last year with it. So all I'm going to do is just make 3 holes, like that. And then I've got a bit of bamboo, which I'm just going to poke into the hole. And then I'm going to select, and I'm not really being too fussy about this, as long as they've got a leader and roots. And that one's a pretty big one, isn't it? It's got some roots. It looks like some have got more roots. See that one's got quite a lot of roots. It's got 2 leaders, but this one sort of died off. It's got another shoot coming out of there, so that's okay. Just get rid of that. Same with this one, get rid of that. Got quite a lot of roots here. I'm gonna go a bit deeper. So, made a hole. Then I'm going to just poke it in, push it down. I've got a few roots still up on this one, so let's get underneath and tuck them in. These are coming out from up here, I guess there's not a lot I can do about that. And then I'll just squash it around it. I'll take these roots off because they're just going to dry up anyway. And there's a shoot coming there, a shoot coming there. I think another one will come from there. And away it'll go. And then I'm going to put P, because it was a purple. That was a white one, and that was an orange. There we go. And then I'm going to give it a, well, I've been giving them a gallon of water, but this one was outside and it's got quite a lot of water in it already, so I'm not going to put any more water in that one now. And this is a gallon of water, it's about 1 inch in the bottom. So the plan is I'm going to take my pokey stick, and obviously this one is the one I did last year, and with a big hole, just poke it in and pull it out and dry it off first. And I've got about 1 inch of water, and I just kept that somewhere between 1 inch and 2 inches, and I don't pour it in the hole, I pour it in the under the plastic. And I probably gave it a gallon a week, maybe when it was really hot, maybe towards August I was giving it 2 gallons a week, and sometimes it dried right out. And, you know, this one's got quite a lot of water in it already. I couldn't tip it out without getting the soil out. I think, there we go, we've got 4 inches probably of water in that one, and that's just rain. This one was the one that had that was in the shed. The cereal rye, well, that's saying there's quite a lot of water in there, but I poured water in the tube just to see what would happen. Obviously it hasn't soaked away, and I did the same with this one actually as well. Probably not a good idea. I'm not going to water them through the tubes. This one's showing 1 inch, so it's soaked away from this one, but not that one. So it's 1 inch, but I haven't put any water in other than I just poured some in the tube. So that was about an hour or so ago. And this one obviously has got a hole in it, and I've poured, just for fun, I poured 3 gallon in that one, just to see if it would run out the hole, and it's running out the hole. This was dry though. Okay, so that's to there. So 3 inches, 3 gallons, 3 inches. Makes sense, doesn't it? Beautiful. So same day, but 5th of May, I'm outside now by the in the old silage pit where I got my compost, and this is where I grew potatoes, and I did grow some watermelons here last year as well, and then I put down cereal, rye and vetch as a cover crop over the winter, and I was wondering how I was going to get rid of it. I was going to come and flatten it, but the sheep have got in here, and obviously there's a low spot there where they can get down. They're actually up there. You can see the polytunnel where I was just now behind. And the sheep were up there, and I didn't think they would jump down here. They don't normally. But obviously I got a bit of a high spot over there, and they've just walked in, and they've got in here. They haven't done too much damage actually, I don't think. The potatoes, I've got one row of potatoes down this side and one row over there, and they were in polytunnels, so they were early ones. And then there's some potatoes here which weren't in the polytunnel. They're early as well, they didn't do very well. And then these are my later potatoes here, which they don't seem to have touched those. I don't think they've eaten any potatoes, I think they've just stood on them. And they were a bit leggy anyway, because they were in the polytunnels. So I'm planning on putting sweet potatoes up the middle between them. So the sheep have done a pretty good job of flattening and chewing off the cereal rye. Look at that, they've stripped the tops on it. Anyway, I'm gonna chuck some compost from up there down onto here, make a couple of rows. Okay, so I got one row and made up this stick here, and I'm hoping that if I just push that in there, look, they should just disappear and be planted. I've actually seen someone do this on YouTube, but they didn't have quite such wet compost as what I got. But seems to be working. That one didn't go so well, but we're getting in there. That's pretty good. Now I've no idea if they're going to grow outside or not. I mean, I know I did them in the bucket last year. The only reason I'm doing this is because I've got so many slips, and I've got some spare ones as well, just in case something goes wrong. And I don't really know what else I'm going to plant here. Last year I tried watermelons out here under the plastic, and it wasn't great. Had a couple of tiny little watermelons, and we had a really hot year. I'm guessing this isn't going to be worth doing either. But the only other thing I got to plant here really is pumpkins, and I don't need a massive amount of pumpkins. I'll put them up there. Watch this, I'm going to just knock that one in there as well. Who knows what will happen. There you go. So that was pretty pain-free. That was all of the purple ones. I've got a few orange and a few white ones, and I'll do another row. Look at that, the sun's come out now. I've got to say, my expectations here are pretty low, but for the amount of time and effort that I put into it, which isn't a lot, if I get anything, it'll be worth it. Ah, I broke my stick.